Welcome back, Kaiju fans. Today we're going to be talking about some Monsterverse in general news because this pertains to Godzilla 2, Godzilla vs. Kong, and the possibility of additional monster movies in the Monsterverse coming in the future. And that is that the Monsterverse has a new actress, and the actress is Zhang Zi, and she is known as the star of Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. And she has been cast as another representative of Monarch, but not just for one movie, but for the Monsterverse in general. So what this means is we're going to see her in Godzilla 2, we're probably going to see her in Godzilla vs. Kong, and we're going to see her in any unconfirmed movies that this may potentially hint at that we are getting somewhere down the line, which, that's pretty cool. So what her contract says is that basically the actress is to join not just that movie, but to figure prominently in their Monsterverse, what the studios are calling their monster-based cinematic universe. So this is basically saying that, you know, any Monsterverse movie from here on out could potentially contain this actor, and that's not exclusively limited to listing Godzilla 2 and Godzilla vs. Kong. So that's where it kind of hints at the possibility that there could potentially be even more movies coming down the line, which is highly likely considering the success of Godzilla 2014 and Kong Skull Island. So basically the future of this franchise honestly just depends on how relevant the movies stay, and if they are successful in the box office. If they're moderately successful, then the franchise was more likely to end sooner, but if it stays as a big success that it is at this point, then we are for sure going to keep continuing on in this franchise until either Legendary's contract with owning Godzilla's rights are up and Toho doesn't want to renew that anymore, or they just start to fail as movies and they don't want to potentially lose money on the deal anymore. And then they'll cut their ties and, you know, be okay with what they made. But as far as I'm concerned, this article here saying that, plus the success so far of the Monsterverse franchise, we're definitely likely to see more movies past Godzilla vs. Kong, because sure, that's going to be a big climactic build-up, but we can all probably predict how that's going to come out, because it's going to be either a tie or Godzilla is going to beat Kong, because technically this is Godzilla's Monsterverse. He's the main focus, and Kong is kind of a side creature. So that's going to be like that, but if they end it as a tie and have both monsters survive or be totally fine, then that opens up the possibility for many, many more movies based off of the two kaiju independently or cooperatively in the future timeline. So this is definitely exciting stuff to think about. So as the news broke, director Michael Dougherty left a cryptic message on Twitter saying that myth is our compass and tagged Monarch Sciences, seemingly confirming her key role with the organization. The Hollywood Reporter claims that Z's deal is a multi-picture contract, suggesting she may appear in additional movies. So, I mean, this is basically saying, hey, if this continues to be successful, we're going to get more movies past Kong, at least in my opinion. So that's going to be really exciting to think about, potentially what other monsters from the Toho universe that could be potentially pulled into this one if they fit kind of the quote-unquote realistic theme of the franchise. Or they might, you know, just create more additional monsters like the Mutos from Godzilla 2014, because that saves them a lot of money because they don't have to license any of that stuff, and then they get to keep the rights to those monsters for any additional projects because they already own them and they don't have to renew their rights through Toho, and, you know, that's a fortune. I mean, I can't even imagine how much it costs to be holding on to the rights of Godzilla, Mothra, Rodan, and Ghidorah all at the same time, because that is a substantial amount of money. But we'll have to see how the movie does. I'm sure this movie, Godzilla 2, will be more successful than Kong Skull Island or the original Godzilla, just because it's even more recognizable monsters. I mean, when you have one recognizable monster like Godzilla 2014 or Kong Skull Island, people are going to go watch it because they're like, oh, I have memories of this, or oh, I'm already a fan of this, and they're going to go see it. What if they see something like Godzilla 2, Godzilla King of Monsters, and they see Godzilla and then three of the most popular kaiju from the Toho franchise in that movie as well, that basically triples the likelihood of someone going, okay, this movie is definitely something to check out, so it might attract more of the general audience that might not already be invested in the franchise like a lot of us are. But that's basically going to wrap up the news for today. Just a quick little video. Let me know what you guys think might come potentially after Kong Skull Island. We all know that the director for Godzilla vs. Kong is a Destroy All Monsters fan. He's a Hedorah fan. We're more likely going to get, at some point, a legendary Destroy All Monsters style movie, especially if all of the monsters survive Godzilla 2. I mean, they could potentially relicense all of those, relicense Kong, and license even more Toho Kaiju, or create more additional Kaiju for a Destroy All Monsters themed movie. Obviously, Ghidorah wouldn't be the big bad because he's already going to be in Godzilla 2, but who knows? I mean, they did that with Ghidorah the Three-Headed Monster, which this Godzilla 2 is basically just a modern revision of Ghidorah the Three-Headed Monster, because the monsters in Godzilla 2 are identical to the ones in Ghidorah the Three-Headed Monster. So I wonder if they're going to basically just take that kind of plot and modernize it. That's always a possibility, but that's going to be it for you today, guys. Let me know what you guys think, and I will catch you all in the next one. Peace out.